Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Double honor to my elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. And as always, peace and mercy to the elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yawanathan, and I'm back with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi to feed and edify the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, if it be the Lord's will. And today's lesson is going to be a bit of an exhortation and an admonition to you brothers that's out there listening and learning. You know, you may be going to your local Great Millstone camp, because that's the only camp you should be listening to through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, because we have the truth. And you may be learning the truth. You know, you're getting the breakdowns. You're starting to understand prophecy, or maybe you do understand it and you could break it down. Well, now is your time where you got to go out there and teach the children of Israel, beginning with the men of Israel, because that word children is actually goes back to the Hebrew word banyam, which means sons. So the sons of Israel, you're supposed to go be teaching other men that they may teach other men and continue that pattern of good works. All right, going out on the highways and byways, teaching his word and doing videos throughout the week. You know, that's your duty now as an Israelite man that have received this knowledge from Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi through the apostles, the elders, and the brothers of Great Millstone. That's your job. All right, so I'm going to read a couple of scriptures dealing with, you know, basically like cheerleading type of jakes, you know, slothful and procrastinating jakes. You know, we don't have time for that. All right, if you here to learn the truth and you serious about this truth, Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17, Amos 3 and 7. The Lord is revealing his secrets onto you, because you very well may be a servant, which is his prophet, and you have a job to do. So it's time to work. Like Yahawashi said, the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. So it's like, you know, a lot of you brothers is on the comment board, which is good. You know, you posting scriptures, you're starting to get the understanding, and you're able to break it down. So now you've been given a talent from Yahawashi. We all know that parable. We should know the parable of Yahawashi giving his servants the talents, and how you're supposed to go out there and increase the talents, which is what? Teaching other men. So let's start off here in the book of Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, which really, if you start at verse 1, you'll get a solid understanding of the job or the lot of a prophet. You know, what's your job to do? You're supposed to be warning other Israelites of the impending destruction. Because guess what? If the Lord is showing you what's to come, and he's revealing his word unto you, and you not warning others, then their blood is going to be on your hands when they be destroyed. That's pretty much what Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, goes into. But I want to focus more in towards these last couple of verses here, verse 30 through, I'll just read through 33. All right, so Ezekiel 33 and 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people are still talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. So, right, you heard the truth. You might have been watching a video, or maybe even somebody shared a video with you, you know, and now you are inquiring of the Lord. You want to hear more. You know, let me get something real quick in the book of Samuel. I probably spelled it wrong. Slakia. I know it's in 1 Samuel. There we go. 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 9. It says, Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the Most High, thus he spake, Come, and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer. And the reason why the prophets were known as seers is because if the Lord made you a prophet, which that's something Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi got to make you a prophet. You can't become a prophet. There's no prophet graduation school. You know, you can't learn to be a prophet. It's something really from birth. When you read Jeremiah, the 1st chapter, it will go more into that. You know, the Lord said he ordained Jeremiah from the womb. Before he even knew thee, you know, he called him by his name, meaning he gave him that lot of a prophet. So it's not something that you just wake up one day and you just become a prophet. You were always a prophet, but there had to be a falling away first. Now, back then in Israel, when we knew, all Israel pretty much, they knew they were Israelites. It wasn't no confusion and no, the discontinuing of our heritage hadn't happened yet. An Israelite man, but when he went to inquire of the Most High, it says he went to the seer. They said, come, let us go to the seer. So that's similar to what we read in Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter. Basically you on one side and you got an Israelite against you. Doesn't necessarily mean they against you like for trouble or they're your enemy, because they're listening to the word. They want to hear the word. Meaning against you, meaning they standing before thee. Like we might be at the camp and you might have a Jake come up to the camp and he's facing us, but he's not necessarily an enemy. He's just standing there listening. He's trying to get a hold of what we talking about. But remember, I gotta mention this. This truth is only for the elect of Israel. Romans 11:7. This truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is not for every Israelite. So they may stand there and listen, but that doesn't mean that you're the elect. You may even understand what we're saying. That doesn't mean that you're the elect. All right. Now, if you a man of the Lord that knows this truth, and like the Apostle Elder Tahar this Saturday was going in with them brothers that was at the camp, basically asking them if they knew the breakdowns, if they were basically, are you listening? Like, we're out here teaching, and it's good that you in the audience and you want to learn, but are you actually learning? And if you're learning and you know these breakdowns, why aren't you going out there and teaching other men? You see? So it's good. You listening to the word. You telling, you may be telling your family members. You might, hey bro, look, I found the truth. I'm listening to the apostles of Great Millstone and they're breaking the scriptures down the right way. That's all good and gravy, but you have to actually go out there and teach also. All right, we're not out there, like Apostle Gabar said, to be wallflowers. Elder Apostle Gabar. We're not wallflowers. We're not out there for entertainment. You see, but as we read through these scriptures, you're going to see that a lot of Jake, they do see this thing as entertainment. They do see it as, something to just get off on, so to speak. But it's more than that. When you really spiritual and you understand what is truly going on, you can actually be condemning yourself, man, by doing these things, by being a hearer of the word and not a doer. James 1 verse 19, I believe. Faith without works is dead. We're showing our faith through our works. What are you doing? All right, Ezekiel 33 verse 31. You can't just be a listener your whole life. And they come unto thee as thy people cometh, and they sit before thee as many people, and they hear thy words. Yeah, that reminds me of like when Yahushua was on the scene. He had a multitude of followers following him everywhere he went. But guess what? He said he knew they only followed him for bread and for fish, or roughly paraphrasing, for food. They was only getting something out of him. That's the only reason why they followed him. It wasn't because they really believed. It wasn't because they was really going to go out and teach and spread the gospel. No, it was because he was feeding them. So we're feeding you spiritually with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, with the breakdowns. So you got a lot of Israelites that's just coming around to get fed and pretty much just to take the breakdowns. And sometimes it's unfortunate that this happens, but these guys become scoffers. And then they try to correct the breakdown. They try to, no, the apostles are going off. This is the right break. That's why it's imperative that if you get this truth and the understanding is actually sinking in, you're supposed to capitalize on that by going out and teaching, praying to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to give you the spirit to go out and teach. Whether you do have to come by the camp and listen and get the breakdown, take notes and whatnot, and then eventually you go out and teach. It's not just to sit there and hear the word, and like it just said, and they hear thy words but will not do them. So you're hearing exactly what we telling you. We're not speaking in no code or nothing. We telling you directly, look, man, you got to go out and teach. That's your job as an Israelite that has this truth. There is lots of believers. There is helps. But guess what? If you could sit there and break down Revelation, the 13th chapter, you got to go out there and teach other men that breakdown. There's plenty of other Israelites that don't know that breakdown, possibly some of the elect that still need to be sealed. And we know already that the Lord is using us as a vessel to teach them the truth so that he could seal them in their mind. So how could they be sealed in their mind if you're not out there telling them what the Lord said. Excuse me. Right? It says, but their heart, for their mouth, for with their mouth, Salakia, they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness. Right? The scriptures say, this people draw near me with their mouth, with their lips, they give good lip service, but their heart, it's far from the Lord. They're not really thinking about what Yahweh Shem Yahushai wants or what's going to please the men of the Lord, which the only thing that's pleasing to us is the same thing that's pleasing to the Lord. Don't be a man pleasing this truth, because we just want the elect to wake up so we can get out of here ultimately. All right, we want our salvation. We're fighting for our crown first and foremost, but in the process, getting the blood off our hand, giving you warning, and ultimately for you to go and teach as well. All right, a Great Millstone does not want followers, man. We want, a good leader creates more leaders, not followers. We're not looking for a fan base or cheerleaders or none of that. It's cool that brothers are getting edified and they're appreciative and think you could show your appreciation, but don't let it become where you just man pleasing, where you're not trying to please Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because if you was trying to please Yahweh Shem Yahushai, once again, you would just be doing what we're doing, because that's what we're doing. That's our main focus. In all actuality, we're not even really out there for praise, and we're not out there for none of that. If nobody listened, we would still go out there and teach. So it says, verse 32, and lo, thou art unto them, Lord willing, I say, Abaratazah. But a true prophet would still go out there and teach regardless. Ezekiel 33, verse 32, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that had a pleasant voice. Right, this is a song, the new song. Revelation, the 14th chapter, tells you that only the 144,000 were able to sing this song, which is this doctrine, this truth. It is a song. You even have the whole book of Psalms, which is I believe one of the biggest books in the Bible with the most chapters. And Psalms means songs. You got prophecies in there, you got commandments, you got history, but it's Psalms. It's all songs. So even what we're doing as I speak right now, this is a song. And you got to sing this song the right way. All right, you got to blow the trumpet with the right sound. Like it tells you in 1 Corinthians, if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who's going to understand and make themselves ready? We're clearly giving you warning. We're telling you that Jacob's trouble is coming. America's about to be destroyed. 2/3 of the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are about to be destroyed. So what are you supposed to do? It says, seek now the Lord in the days of thy youth. Seek to please him. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Do the things that he said to do. If you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, feed my sheep. That's what Yahweh Shai said, right? So that's what we're doing, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. It says, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. Don't be a hearer, man. Don't be a hearer of the word and not a doer also, because then you're deceiving yourself. You're not deceiving us. You're not deceiving Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And low-key, a lot of you jakes, man, I got to say this through the spirit. A lot of you jakes are very disrespectful, very subtly. You do it in a subtle way, and maybe you don't even realize you're doing it. You could be sincere, but a lot of jakes is actually disrespectful, man, in this thing. They say double honors. They say they believe in this truth, and they've been given certain orders and certain things like that, and they don't take heed, man. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm just talking about in general. When we out on the highways and byways, we deal with disrespectful jakes all the time, man. But even within the truth, man, you got a lot of unruly and self-willed Israelites, man. And the Lord, this is sifting season. It's always sifting season, like Elder Apostle Gabbard put that video up. But at certain times, the scope, that scopeo, is on you more than other times. And it's just our duty, to, repent and get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushai. None of us are perfect, man. We all make mistakes. We all go off from time to time, but you got to get back on your feet and you got to apply what you know. All right. You got to move with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and following the commandments to the best of your ability. Even if you're emotional, even if it doesn't matter, because you want to be saved, right? You want Yahweh Shem Yahushai to deal with you and to deliver you. So that's what it's going to take, man. And you got to endure all things, man. You got to endure, getting wrongfully judged sometimes. It's just a lot of things that come with the truth. But that's part of serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and being a faithful servant to him. And you want to hear that, right, from Yahushai, thou good and faithful servant. So do the things that he said to do, man. That's it. You know, that's what this lesson is basically about. Here in Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, is telling you about Israelites who hear these things, but they will not do them. Don't be one of those guys, man. You don't want to be in that lot. Let me get something else real quick, and I'll end the lesson off. I forgot how it goes, but let me just give this a shot. There we go. Tawadi Habashim Al-Shah, Luke chapter 7, verse 31. Yeah, I'll start at 31. And the Lord said, whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation? And remember, reincarnation is biblical. So this same generation that the Lord was speaking about of Israelites, they back. And he's telling you what they was doing in that time when he was doing the work, when he was preaching the gospel. So they're going to be the same in this time, because everybody just come back in their lot. That's how this thing goes. It says, and to what are they like? They are like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling one to another and saying, we have piped unto you and ye have not danced. We have mourned to you and ye have not wept. So that's the nation of Israel for you. That's that generation in particular, which are, these are 2/3. You know, these are not elect Israelites because they're not in the right spirit. You know, here it is, like I just said, we piped onto you, we mourned onto you, but it's like you're not receiving it. You know, you can stand there in the marketplace, you can act like you were Israelite, you can act like, you know, you're understanding the truth, but your actions are ultimately going to show. You know, we're the ones that's crying and sighing to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We going out on the highways and byways diligently. Didn't the scripture say that? Give diligence to make your calling and election sure. We're just being called right now. We don't know if we chosen yet. Yahushai said, many are called, but few are chosen. That should strike fear in your mind. How do you know you're chosen? You don't. So guess what? You got to give diligence to make that calling sure that you are chosen, but with the faith, and you got to do it willingly, that you don't know. You know, there's no way to guarantee know that you the elect, because if you did, you probably wouldn't even do the work. But the elect was still, the elect love to do the work. So, you know, then again, you see what I'm saying? It's not a burden for the prophets to prophesy. At times it may be because of the flesh and certain tribulation and the persecution, but at the end of the day, the elect is doing this thing willfully, and you can't force it, man. That's the whole point. You can't force it. So if you feeling compelled to teach, if the spirit is on you, it's not for no reason. The Lord ain't just calling you to come teach just to do it. You know, it's actually to save your soul and those that hear also. As a matter of fact, I believe that's Timothy. Yeah, let me get this, and then I'll close off on this note. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushai. We're all under grace right now. See, really, before we even woke up to this truth, the Lord could have destroyed us at any time. But bringing us under the grace of Hamashiach Yahushai, which is to learn of this truth, come back to the acknowledgement that you are Israelite, you know, be taught all over again. That's grace and mercy from the Lord. So don't take this grace and mercy for granted. And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, this Apostle Paul, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. So this truth is supposed to be committed to other faithful men that are going to also teach to other faithful men. All right, it's each one teach one. That's the job that we're doing right now. So we're not teaching you just to go sit on the talent or just to eat it up and, you know, go hibernate, you know, like an animal or something. No, you're supposed to get active in this thing, man. All right, that's your job of learning this truth. You're supposed to get active in this thing. You're supposed to forward the gospel and the ministry in whatever way and capacity you can to the best of your ability. Now, maybe you just only know the basics. Guess what? There's people out there that don't know the basics. There's Israelite men that could potentially possibly be of the elect that don't even know the basics yet. And you just put up a simple video on the color of Yahweh Shai, or, you know, who the Israelites really are, or something like that. And you never know. You might, you know, reach to one of the ears of the hopeful elect. And it feels good. You know, it feels good when you're teaching and you see somebody's getting it and they could, you know, possibly be the elect. There's no feeling that you could compare to in this thing, man, other than that. You know, because that's really the essence of what we're doing. So just like with anything you do, you know, when you're successful at it, it's a very satisfying, it's a very good feeling, right? So, hey, man, that's the best thing you could do. If you want to please the apostles, which really you should be pleasing Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And there's nothing wrong with pleasing men if you're in the right spirit. You know, there's nothing wrong with worshiping men if you're in the right spirit. But we don't esteem the apostles above the Lord. You know, we esteem Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and we acknowledge, like Apostle Paul said, be ye followers of me, even as I am of Yahweh Shai. All right, these are men that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai set up to guide us, to lead us. All right, but guess what? They're leading us to be leaders to lead others, if that makes any sense. All right, it's a chain and command. All right, so that's your job, that's your duty. Fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and keep his commandments, and these are commandments. Let him that is spiritual judgeth this matter. You know, like the Apostle Paul said, these words that he's speaking, these are commandments from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So it's to be done to the best of your ability and with faith, most importantly. So with that, you know, I'm going to close the lesson off there. I hope and pray that you brothers, mainly because this was a lesson mainly for the brothers, were edified, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. I'll see you in the next lesson. Shalom.